In this video, I'm going to go over the 4 most common ways that seniors are tricked around Medicare during the annual enrollment period. Now, Medicare is a fascinating place to be. More than 10,000 people turn 65 in the United States every single day, and for the next few years, the number's actually closer to 11,000. With that many people nationwide as potential clients, it also creates a serious potential for extremely shady individuals and companies to take advantage of seniors. And the worst time of year for this type of behavior to take place is during the annual enrollment period. Now, this window of time is when those already on Medicare plans can make changes for the upcoming year, and it runs from October 15th through December 7th of every year. So let's go over the dark side of Medicare and the 4 most common ways that seniors are tricked during this time of year, and how you can prevent it from happening to you. Now that you know the number of people turning 65 and add on to that the 67 million people already on Medicare, that leaves 2 ways for agents and agencies to grow. Number 1, help those new to Medicare, or number 2, steal those already on Medicare from their existing agent or relationships. Now, in the marketing world, 2 of the biggest motivators that cause people to take action are the fear of danger, so the thought that you're going to be penalized or hurt in some way, whether that's physically or financially, and the fear of missing out, meaning the idea of missing out on more things, more freedom, more money, more romance. In the Medicare world, it's more around missing things like benefits, more perks, more money left on the table that you're entitled to and that everyone else seems to be getting through some secret that's being kept from you at this point. So the first thing that you need to watch out for are those commercials out there that are talking about the benefits that you are missing. You know the ones I'm talking about, paid celebrities that talk about all of the benefits that you could have that you just aren't getting and how you can get those benefits and more simply by calling a phone number. You'll see a lot of commercials from the insurance companies themselves as well that say similar things. And where does that phone number lead? Well, it leads to a national call center where temporary agents are hired during the annual enrollment period to handle the high call volume. And what kind of plans have all of these free perks? Advantage plans. And look, I'm not saying that Advantage plans are inherently bad. What I am saying is that an Advantage plan is privatized and it is different from original Medicare and a supplement plan. If somebody is told that they still have all of the benefits of original Medicare from a network or an administration standpoint, but they are switched to an Advantage plan that replaces those benefits in a different way, this is wrong. If people are calling this number expecting to keep original Medicare and, say, a supplement plan, and then they're thrown onto an Advantage plan that, again, replaces original Medicare, that is wrong. And if you have an agent who you trust, who is available to help you with your Medicare decisions, but then you call into a call center and make the switch, your agent can't help you with the plan that the call center puts you on, and so you just won't have the same experience that you would with an independent agent who knows you personally. And look, of course I would say this, given that we are an independent agency and not a call center. And I could use the hundreds of calls that we get from people who were duped by this marketing strategy as evidence, but instead, I'll use the more than tripling of complaints from Medicare beneficiaries to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services directly tied to these call centers and people being enrolled in plans that they did not want and that they did not understand. So, how can you protect yourself? Well, no matter how exciting or how appealing or how much you looked up to an athlete or an actor promoting these plans, don't call that phone number. They all funnel somewhere that you likely don't want to end up. And if you're watching this YouTube video, you're probably not their biggest target. Please keep in touch with your parents who may be more prone to reaching out to TV commercials. Okay, the second highly unethical thing that happens during this time would be the incessant phone calls. Did you know that agents are not allowed to make unsolicited, outbound phone calls and discuss Medicare Advantage plans or Part D prescription drug plans? Now, I have no doubt that many of you can attest to the fact that your phone blows up with people calling you about Medicare, especially starting on around October 1st. So how is this happening? Well, one possibility is that these individuals and companies are completely ignoring these rules, and they should be shut down, frankly, but monitoring this is incredibly difficult. The other thing that is happening is that they could be gaming the system, and this is how. Agents can call you without your consent about Medicare supplement plans. Can't call you without your consent to talk about Advantage plans, can call you to talk about supplement plans only, unless you bring up an Advantage plan or a Part D plan. You can already see the strategy, can't you? Blow up your phone, get you to answer and talk about Medicare supplement plans, steer that conversation in a way to get you to bring up a plan that would have things that a supplement plan just doesn't have, and boom, they can now discuss Advantage plans or Part D prescription drug plans. The bad news is that you can block these numbers, but the call centers will keep calling from a different number. It's kind of like the Hydra, where when you cut one head off, two more just grow in its place. Here are two things that you can do. Number one, if you do answer and they are bringing up Advantage plans or Part D prescription drug plans without you bringing it up first, ask them who they work for, ask for their name, and then you can report them to the state's Department of Insurance. The second thing that you can do is if you are already working with an agent who you know and trust, you should have his or her phone number, you should have their email address, you probably even have their physical address. So ignore the phone calls, let them go to voicemail, and reach out to your agent with questions. Speaking of your agent, here is the third highly unethical trick to watch out for. 90 Days from Retirement is our national education platform. Our agency name here locally goes by a different name. There are national call centers that have decided to use very similar names to ours, and it's not just our agency name, but other well-established agencies out there exist, and call center companies try to mimic their name. They will call you and they will say that they are with a very similar sounding company name and try to pose as your agent or as your agent's company. This is wild, but it happens every year to us around the annual enrollment period. A client of ours will call in and ask, "Hey, is John retiring?" We'll say, "No, he's in the office next to me." The client will say, "Oh, I just got a call from a very similar sounding company name and they told me that John was retiring and the person calling was asked by John to call and switch my plan." So unfortunately, companies posing as being connected to your agent actually exist. I'm being a little bit guarded about our agency name here in this video because I don't want to encourage people who may be watching from those companies to go out and do this. If you're thinking, "Eric, this can't be true, I wish that it wasn't," and for many of you watching, it probably doesn't surprise you at all. So what you can do is be sure that you are working with your agent. Ignore the phone call, let it go to voicemail, listen to the voicemail to make sure it is who it is supposed to be, and then listen closely to the names being used for both the company and your agent. Okay, the last trick to be aware of falls with the insurance companies. And this is not all insurance companies, but some. At the very beginning of this video, I mentioned that agents get a commission for the plans that we help you with if you decide to get those plans. Using an agent does not mean that you pay more for a plan. You pay the same whether you work with an agent or you go straight to the insurance company bypassing the agent. That commission amount is built into the premium and it does not get passed back to you if you decide not to use an agent. Those dollars just stay with the insurance company. So if an insurance company can move people that they cover that are using an agent to a different plan, they can avoid the commission to the agent and add dollars to their bottom line by reducing their expenses. Now, many insurance companies offer supplement plans and Advantage plans and drug plans and dental plans and vision and other plans. So once you are with them with any one of these plans, they can cross-sell you onto any of their other plans. So let's say that you have a low-cost Part D plan with a certain insurance company, but it doesn't cover all of your medications well. Well, they may reach out to you with a try our Advantage plan that covers more medications than your Part D plan. They upsell you to that Advantage plan, they cut out the agent commissions. What I would recommend in this instance is to work with your agent. If your agent helped you with that drug plan, they most likely also have access to that Advantage plan or other plans offered by that insurance company if that's something that you want to look at. So use your agent. The reason that this is important is because insurance companies change. Advantage plans can change every year. Part D plans can change every year. Supplement plan premiums can change every year. And by working with just the insurance company, they aren't going to show you all of the other offerings by all of the other companies. They're going to show you their plan, which may or may not make the most sense for you. Now, there are companies out there who do not work with agents, and your only option is to work directly with the insurance company. That's a bit of a different story, and an agent can show you other companies, but if the plan with that company that doesn't work with agents is the most fitting for you, then yes, go with that company. Now, are there other things out there to watch out for during this time? Absolutely. Could there be incentives for agents to be switching you around from one plan to another every single year when you really don't need to be switched? Yes, things like this do exist, and I wish I could outline everything out there to watch out for, but it's a lot and it's not something that we can fit into this video. And I know I said that fear was a way to get people to act, and I'm not trying to scare you into calling us. I'm trying to inform you of what's out there so that you will work with your agent during this time. I've beat to death the number of people on Medicare or going on Medicare. It's in the tens of millions. That is more than enough for all of us in the agent community to help each other and offer help to you without stealing from one another. If you do reach out to us with questions or for help, and you mention that you have an agent, my first question back to you will be, have you spoken to your agent about this? I'm not in the business of stealing business from other agents, especially when your agent is your first line of defense around everything that we have discussed in this video. Use him or her. Reach out during this time of year as commercials and ads and mailers and phone calls are invading your life. That is what your agent is there for. If you feel as though you were pressured into a plan that you didn't want, or if you feel like you were never told about the difference between an Advantage or a supplement plan, or if your agent has seemingly disappeared and you cannot get a hold of him or her, that's different. It is a privilege and an honor for us to help people with Medicare, and you should be working with somebody that you trust to help you make the right decision for you, not the agent. If you've ever asked your agent a question and they don't know the answer, we are happy to help any way that we can, but that does not mean that we are going to move you to a plan where we can take that commission. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Maybe it illuminated some of the marketing tactics and phone calls that you are experiencing and help explain why. If you do not have an agent and it is time for you to start getting serious about Medicare, we are more than happy to help in any way that we can. I have partners licensed in all 50 states, so wherever you are, we can help. 90daysfromretirement.com is our website. My email is in the description of this video. Be sure to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on all things Medicare and Social Security, and I will see you in the next video.